Hey, this is Everett, and I am with my son Alex. Alex has his sort of lumberjack kind of thing going on. Alex is my, you got the red beard and the, you look good.
And the rugged hat and
Yep.
everything.
Speak with a southern accent.
Well, I'll tell you what.
So, we did an interview with my oldest son, Nick, and I wanted to talk to Alex. Alex and Nick they were best friends growing up, but they're so incredibly different, and they both have so much insight on different things. So I want to talk to Alex. Alex is 23 years old. Alex's real name is Phalange.
Yep.
And
that's my birth name.
actually, I think that might be a bad word. I have to look that up. Is Phalange a bad word? Eugene, is Phalange a bad word? No. Okay, good. So Alex's real name is Phalange, but we call him Alex. Alex is we're both from upstate New York. Alex was born in, oh my gosh, was it Johnson City? Johnson City, right?
Wow.
Yeah. You were born in Johnson City.
I forgot.
I know, Johnson City. You and Nick were both born Wilson Hospital. And I remember when you were born because it was the day that Henry Hill was coming out of the witness relocation program.
I would hope you remember the day.
I do remember the name you were born because this was before the internet or before any of that stuff, and you were about to see Henry Hill come out from Goodfellas at the exact time that you decided to come into the world. So as my horrible father story is the fact that I'm going, Alex, just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. I'm looking at the TV, 5 minutes. But no, you had to come right with Henry Hill. So I had to wait years and years to find out what the real Henry Hill was like. So that, you've got that going for you. Start from the beginning. You're from New York. You consider yourself a New York guy or a Delaware guy?
Probably New York, just because I was born there. But it's, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like this is home.
Because you've been here just as long now, right?
14
Okay.
years. So, I don't know. I always consider New York home, but Delaware is Delaware, I guess.
Yeah. We were, Nick and I were talking about when the house burned down. I can't remember whose fault that was. But you were here and you got your mom out of, she was downstairs on the treadmill, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I won't take credit for that, but...
Well, because I wasn't there. I was with Nick at the time. So what happened? Did you see smoke or?
There was, I think it was January, and I was up in your guys' room back when you had that old TV.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom was in the basement, and I was watching TV, and I came down, and somebody was knocking at the door. Pounded at the door, and then I see the neighborhood kids that I used to hang out with standing there, but I didn't see our other neighbor that was banging on the door, and then I saw the smoke, and then I ran down and got her. And then ran barefoot outside.
You did?
Fire. Yeah.
That's funny. So you have 3 wishes. What are your 3 wishes? It can be anything in the world. Different father.
Well, that's a given. I don't know. That's a tough question.
Want to come back to it?
I don't know. I think the cliche answer would be more wishes.
Okay, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
The cliche answer would be world peace. I think it would just be that my family and me are financially set. I mean, I know you said not money, but financially set for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like an indoor swimming pool. That's my second.
Okay. What's your third?
Like a mansion, but like a guest house.
You know what's...
With a guest house.
So you could live in the guest house?
Yeah.
What's funny is my 3 wishes are that we're not financially set.
Oh yeah, the opposite.
Yeah, that we never ever could have an indoor pool. And that we all have to live in the guest house.
Yeah.
It's so funny because those are my 3 wishes. So I counteract yours. You, I know you pretty well. You are probably one of the most, if I say this word, you might get insulted. I don't want you to. You are probably one of the most sensitive people I know.
I get that a lot.
But that's not a bad thing. You feel things that other people
Well, I would
don't
hope
feel.
so.
Yeah, you like I could punch you.
Wow.
See, see, a normal person would just brush that off. You empathize more than anyone else I've seen. Here's the story I wrote about you when you were a kid. We were driving. Do you remember this? We were driving and we were in Claire. So we found Alex and I were heading somewhere, and there was a homeless lady, and she was, can't remember if she was pushing a shopping cart or what it was, but he just saw her and he said, "We need to bring her home." And I said, we can't bring her home. And you said, "She's like grandma's age. We need to bring her home." And we were heading to Walmart, and I said, we'll get her some food and stuff. And you said, I don't care. We have that, it's cold. We have that guest room. We need to bring her home. So I got food. We came back, we couldn't find her. And then we went to the homeless shelter nearby and took it in, and we told her the story, and she goes, the lady was so sweet. I don't know if you remember her? And she said, "I love what you're doing. I love that you feel this way, sweetie, but you can't, that's not how you help somebody. You can't put your family in jeopardy." And we left the food there, and I got back in the car, and I said, "Do you feel better?" And he said, "No." You said, "No." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because it doesn't matter." He goes, "That's what we should have done." And what I loved about that is that's when you were the age that you thought about what you should do instead of what you can do. You know, and now as you got an adult, I'm sure you have the hat that is the can-do hat. But then it was, "I don't care." You were just so adamant. You were actually angry at me because, and then we never saw her again, did we?
Yeah.
We bought her a sub, and we bought waters and juices and stuff, but we couldn't find her. And then that lady spent so much time with you, the lady at the homeless shelter, it's just talking about it. But you were just so, that impressed me that you were, it was just so focused on what you should do instead of what you can do. And I see you do that stuff all the time. I see you give and care, and you're also very protective. You're very, very protective of your family.
Yeah, I think that thing of caring for nothing and not knowing the repercussions. I don't know if that's the right word.
It's a great
word. It's a big word.
It's a good word. SAT word.
But I think now once you get older, you're more hardened, if that's the right word.
Yeah. No, because that's what happened. I think that kid, yeah. Go ahead.
You see the world as it is, and you experience things and that sort of thing. So you still trust, but the trust is more cautious because you're more focused on helping your family more than she needs help.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. If that makes any sense.
It does. But it's kind of sad that we have to grow into that. It's kind of sad that we have to be hardened. There was no way that this woman was going to live in our house. There was no way. But still, it doesn't take away from the fact that that's what you should do. We all should do things like that. Logically, it doesn't make sense, but you still should do it. We still should.
That's just not the world we live in. But
I think I told you I saw this YouTube interview with this homeless guy, and they asked this homeless. He was telling his story, and he was saying that, his wife has some health issues. Did I tell you this?
Probably.
And it's probably one of the stories you've blanked out. His wife had some health issues. They were homeless. They were living on Skid Row, and you know, she was having to prostitute herself, and they were just not making it and everything like that. And they asked this guy, "You got 3 wishes. What are your 3 wishes?" And he said, "A, that my wife doesn't have these health issues anymore, that she, you know, is healthy. 2, that we had family." And then he blew my mind, and he goes, "And the 3rd one you can have back."
Yeah, I think you did tell me that.
Isn't that incredible? I
Yeah.
mean, you just said you would ask for world peace. I'm too selfish to ask for world peace. I wouldn't give my 3rd. I have a house and family and a wife that's healthy. I'm not giving my 3rd wish away. But this guy gave his 3rd wish away. I like leaning back. I look like I look like. I think I looked more like you when you were younger. I don't know that I look like you anymore.
No, I just look like a redneck.
Yeah, well, you got redneck blood.
Hillbilly blood. I'll take that. I'll go with that.
You are
more than
hillbilly
more
blood.
than redneck.
Yeah, you've met some of your cousins.
Well, I definitely have. And I got this from a certain cousin.
Yes, you did. That's the Irish side.
If he's watching this, you know who it is.
Mm-hmm. Tell me something that your 2 best friends don't know about you.
I think there's not much
Really?
because they know just about everything. We can talk about remember that Boy Scout story with the gum?
With the
We went to you just pulled into the Boy Scout.
So Alex and I are driving around. We do a lot of that, and this was years ago. And they just built this Boy Scout camp down from us, and they would there were all these cars. There's all these cars going in there. We're driving around, and I said, "I want to see what's going on in there." So I pull in, and I get in, and this guy, you know, weighs me down. I roll the window down. And he goes, I think he's going to say, you know, "You're not supposed to be here," or something like that. But he goes, "Boy Scouts?" And there was like, Alex
At
is there.
least 5 seconds. Or just yeah.
And he goes, "Okay, go over there."
Yeah, just go right over there. I don't know. It might not sound funny to the average person, but it was the circumstances of the pause.
Boy Scouts?
Yeah, it was just the pause of just him trying to figure out what to say, and then it might not be funny but I thought it was.
Well,
funny.
we don't want to hang out with those people that don't think it's funny.
Yeah.
Or the 7 people that'll be watching it.
More like 2.
Hey, we both did that lean back thing at the same time. Maybe we
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Maybe we are related.
Maybe we are related.
Maybe you are my father. Who knows? Have to get a test.
Do you have, you're a young guy, do you have regrets at 23?
I don't think you can be human and not have regrets.
Yeah? What's a regret?
I think there's things that I wish I did and wish you can't.
Well, you're not dead. You're 23.
No, there's things that I wish I would have held on to some certain friends, and I wish I would have done stuff differently. I mean, everybody says that, no matter how old they are.
Yeah.
But I don't think if there's regrets, that I try not to hold on to them like grudges.
Yeah.
But I think everybody has regrets.
The what you do hold on to, you hold on if you feel someone's hurt your family, that's a hard one for you to let go of. You are very protective.
I think it's harder because, I mean, they can say what they want about me, but it's just harder because I was brought up being protective, and it's sort of hard to break out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So these people that have hurt my family in the past, I won't say names, but it's hard to forgive them.
The people of Norway,
Yeah.
the people of Argentina have hurt your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany.
The entire judicial system.
The IRS.
The prison system.
SpaceX.
All of them are. I mean, right now we'll go. You can put a little graphic that says Alex's enemy, Alex's enemy list: SpaceX, NASA, the Delaware Judicial System.
Yeah, I think SpaceX and NASA definitely have a lot more things to worry about.
Are you kidding? They're
Oh,
on,
yeah.
they're on
just
our
focus
enemy
on
list. They're
Everett and
focused on.
Alex, those guys.
When are we gonna get to Mars? Forget about that.
Yeah, forget about sending the first manned mission to Mars. Continue the Singapore thing. I did kill a man in Singapore to continue that the Morier son tradition. Since Nick said it.
You know where that started, right?
What?
I was younger than you. No, probably, yeah, younger than you. And I was in the smoking lounge at college. And I smoked back then. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just tired and I put my hands in my head. And this girl that I had never seen before came up and she goes, "Are you all right?" And without even thinking, I lifted my head up and said, "I killed a man in Singapore." I don't know where that came from.
She ran away?
She just, looked like this and then, she ran away. Tell me something else.
What do you want to know?
Everything.
I'm not that interesting.
You are very interesting.
No.
You're incredibly interesting. Here's a couple things about Alex. This kid is so good with money. I mean, he has more money at 23 than I did at 43. I mean, he's so good, and he he and Nick have this incredible work ethic. But yeah, you would have if I needed a loan, I would go to him. He's so good.
Within reason. I mean, not recently.
Right.
I mean, I do buy some things.
Yeah, but come on. You bought some hockey jerseys and you bought some other stuff, and yeah, you didn't go out and buy the Yankees.
I mean, I would. Says the guy with a Fenway hat on.
Mm-hmm. You are a history fanatic.
I try.
And a sports fanatic.
Within reason.
You had me build you a little football field in our backyard.
I do remember that.
And with lines and goalposts, and then you used to have you'd make us watch your game. So you'd say, "I'm having a game at 7:00." So we'd have to get chairs out, and you'd make Nick and your mom and I sit, and there'd be like 30 seconds left of the thing, and it would go
into overtime every time.
Super, 15 overtimes. Yeah.
And I would have Nick be, the trainer guys that have that pour the Gatorade in the player's mouth. I used to have Nick do that.
I don't remember that. I thought, now Nick used to do speeches.
Yeah, and then we had the whole, we turned the living room into like a movie theater.
Yeah.
We gave tickets out.
You guys did a lot of imagination stuff in your home.
Oh yeah, especially with those. We used to get a lot of snow here. They used to have the huge snow dunes that they would pile up after it snowed.
Yeah.
And we would just dig all the way to the bottom, so we'd have this huge snow fortress.
What about the in Vestal? What about the 6 or 7 refrigerator boxes that we turned into a castle?
Oh yeah, I remember doing that here as well.
Did we do it here?
I did it with the neighbor kids.
Oh.
They used to have those big ones. Those same people that locked me in dog cages. We don't talk about that.
I don't remember the dog cage one. I locked you in the dog cage a couple times.
I don't even know. The weird childhood things. I think we were just playing with them and they locked us in dog cages. It was weird.
Yeah, but if you
They
can't
don't remember it though.
if you can't lock a neighbor in a dog cage, come on.
I,
What did we fight
asked them
for?
about them.
What did we go to war for if you don't have the right to lock a kid in a
Locked a
dog
14-year-old kid in a dog cage.
What is it? What is this all worth if you can't do that? That's just ridiculous.
I think going back on your regret thing.
Yes.
There's one thing that comes to mind. I mean, the FBI agent is watching, but I did some things with neighbor kids that I shouldn't have done. Is throw bricks through somebody's window. mind you, they didn't live there. It was a barn, but still, I still regretted doing it after. I was like, this is stupid, but it happened. So I think going back on that, that's probably one of them.
Do you still carry that? Because that's
not as much, but it's just something that I shouldn't have done, because even though nobody was living there, you give yourself that excuse, but it was still wrong.
right.
But
I just wanted to. All of this was just basically to get your confession.
yeah, they're gonna arrest me for
Yeah.
vandalism.
So this was all a setup, and you were going down for this.
Well,
Actually, that building isn't even around anymore.
well, you could also get me for hitting golf balls and cracking somebody's window.
When did you do that?
With one of the other neighborhood kids. We used to shank golf balls across by the railroad track, and we'd accidentally hit a couple cars. We go 4, and then donk. There's a car.
Did
you
you
gotta
hit-
run?
You hit the metal of the car or the glass of the car?
Probably both. I don't remember. By the time it happened, we were already halfway across running away. We used to do that all the time.
Yeah,
I was a wrong crowd.
You know my stories.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. So
I mean, I don't know if I regret that, but I think if I was a kid, so you didn't know any better, and when you're influenced by certain people, it happens to not be. They're doing something, so if you don't do it, they're gonna be like, "Who's this guy?"
you just said influence. Who are the people that have influenced you in a positive or a negative way in your 23 years?
In a negative way, I mean, I could probably go a lot.
All right.
But in positive, there's obviously, I mean, it's as cheesy as it sounds, this guy, but
The guy over there.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, not you.
Not you.
No, the guy's
Excuse
sitting
me,
over
could you
here.
think
Yeah,
he's over there?
he's sitting over there.
Yeah. Paul. Hey, Paul.
I would say my family. I would say my friends.
You have a good group of friends.
Yeah. My friend Ryan and Ymir, I'm singling them out. They'll probably never watch this, but
They'll be the two.
yeah, they'll be the two that watch it. But they've helped me a lot. I think I don't know where I'd be without them. They're good people.
Yeah. You sound. It's so funny because you sound like you're 67 years old on your deathbed.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be, but it's just that's kind of how it sounds.
I think that's part of you. I think you. This phrase is used a lot, and I don't know that I really like it, but I think you're an old soul. I think you see things a little differently. You're an older soul than 23.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm dying or anything, but
Right.
and I'm not trying to sound cheesy by name dropping people, but
I didn't. Why? We don't spend enough time talking about
yeah.
the people that are important to us. We never ever do. And what's funny is that story that you told, and I'll let you tell it, of having a bad day at work,
Yeah.
and I'll let you tell that story. But what that guy did, 50 years from now, you're gonna remember that.
He'll never know who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
But he never thought about it. Just that.
No,
Tell that
yeah.
story.
So I was at work, and it was a really, really bad day. Just constantly people coming up to me, just bad day. I won't go into detail because I don't want to swear, but just really, really bad day. I was sweating. I just wanted to go home. It was towards the end of the day, and this guy that I've never met before, this older guy, he's about to leave. He sees me, and he comes over and pats me on the back and goes, "You're all right, kid," and then walks away. Like, people are, I don't believe in fate or destiny, but I feel like he was there for a reason.
And that and how he said it and what he said doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was a big deal to you.
Yeah, and some things that people say don't sound like you said, don't feel like a big deal, but are.
Yeah.
I mean, if he said it at any other time and I was in a good mood, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, but it wouldn't have a meaning to me.
And that's what's amazing is those people that have the biggest that are just in and out of our lives, positive or negative, they probably, that guy, nothing, I don't mean to insult you, but he probably never thought of you again.
Yeah.
But you are going to think of him forever. I told you the story about when my dad was mugged when he was about your age. They two guys jumped him at a fair and they cracked his head with a rock and they got $6 in his tie clip. And they altered his life. He had epilepsy after that. I guarantee you those guys never thought of my dad again. But yet his life was altered. Generations were altered because of that. And there are there's tons of examples probably in all of our lives if we sat down of just that tiny little influence, the tiny little thing that set us going this way instead of that way. That's a great one.
Yeah, and there's people that do it in the opposite, that influence you negatively. I mean, I had a group of friends that I thought were friends, and they turned out to not be.
Right.
They just were neighborhood kids that were rich, and I wanted to play on the new console, but I mean, I feel like I was pretty negative towards them.
Are you harboring that still? Or you let it go?
I guess it's just when you're, I don't know. I was trying to find an example, but I think I am come to terms with it.
Good.
I just
you don't seem like you're carrying it.
No, I think when I just thought they were friends and they ended up not being, so it hurt a little bit just because, obviously, but you just wipe out the people that aren't your friends, and the people that are will stick around.
And what's funny is when you look at, if I look at my life and I look at the devastating things that happened. My first girlfriend, we were going together for 3 years, broke my heart. I thought I was gonna die. And I look back now and it's like, it's so amazing what time does when you get to look at something totally different and go, what? I did what? So it's gonna, if that's the biggest thing right now, you're doing good. Besides your bank robbery and your drug and your
I mean, there's been, I don't know if that's a big regret. I mean, I haven't done a lot to regret something big, but right. I feel like having friends and that you thought were friends, going back to that, and having regrets, what we talked about before. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they're as bad. But I mean, I try not to think about them a lot. I think you're right with the time thing. As time goes on, you forget about it. But, I mean,
it's incredible.
There are things and family members and other things that I still tend to think about, and friends, but some more than others. But I think the moral of the story is the friends you have that stick around are the ones worth keeping.
Yeah, and everything changes. I mean, Stephen King has a great line that says people come in and out of your lives like busboys in a restaurant, which is pretty funny. You're a busboy in a restaurant. But it's, and just because they're not, maybe those two best friends won't be around in 5 years, maybe your lives change, but that's okay because you're friends now, and they do things for you now. I mean, my childhood friends were incredible, but we're all grown up. We're all, so things. There's nothing that I know about in your life that I'm ashamed of you for. There's nothing that what's weird is when I was your age, maybe a little older, there's Riley. My parents loved me unconditionally. Unconditionally. And they just wanted to spend time, with me. I remember having a boss and she was going, oh, Bill, Bill's a great kid, but Stu, I just don't like Stu. I didn't know parents were built that way. I didn't know parents could say, I like Nick, but I don't like Alex. I didn't know that that model existed. I thought because the only parents I had known were these people, these smothering people that would give anything for you, to do anything that humiliate you, of course. But I never knew that. I mean, you never saw that from us, right?
Well, having a bad childhood?
No. About feeling that you disappointed us.
Oh, I mean, a lot, yeah,
But that's not, you're not where you want to be right now. That's all.
No, I think.
But
If you're asking, have I been somewhere where I felt I disappointed you? Of course, 100%, more than once. But again,
I don't see it.
It goes with time.
And if you feel that, I will tell you right now, I've never felt that way. I've never felt you're not where you want to be. I get that.
I mean, that's a different story. But like you're saying, if you're asking, have I? Yes. But again, like you said before about it heals with time. It heals with time, and I've mostly forgot about it.
Yeah.
But it's just my self-esteem, they hate me type of thing. That's just my mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people hate me and they really don't. I'm sure
They don't.
someone knows what I'm talking about. So.
Yeah, they don't hate you. Nobody.
Well, it's just a mind. It's just some weird tick I have.
I think it's a 23-year-old thing. I think everybody had it at 23. What happens as you get older, it's not that you start to believe less people don't like you. It's that you just start to care less.
I think I'm starting to get to that point, but it's harder for the people you care about more than some Joe Schmo at work.
Well, and what's funny too is there was you remember the Terrace in Vestal? There was a Terrace, and it was this bar restaurant down from where we used to live in Vestal, and there was this guy named, oh my gosh, Jim? Oh, I can't remember his name. I think it was Jim, and he was this big, huge guy, and this guy just did not like me. He was like a custodian at IBM, and just did not like it. It was my quest to make that guy like me. I would buy him beers, I would buy him cigarettes, I would send over food. I could not make that guy. And he wasn't anything special, not to be mean. He wasn't anything special. He was kind of a gruff guy. He was a maintenance guy at IBM. He really didn't have a lot of redeeming value, but it ticked me off that he didn't like me. It ticked me off that we're here and I can make everybody laugh and everybody's pat me and bite me, and he didn't. And I was just, for 10 years, I wanted this guy to like me, only because he didn't. That's the only reason. There was no other thing just because he didn't.
Yeah, I feel like I said before, I think it's the people you care about, you're more paranoid that they hate you more than someone that's kind of an acquaintance that you think hates because whatever. I mean, they can hate me. But somebody that you care for, that you're paranoid even though it's probably not true.
I guarantee you, I would put money on it, that there's nobody out there that hates you. You haven't done anything for anyone to hate you. There are people that probably don't care. There's probably a lot of people that don't even really think about you a lot. There's maybe a couple people that don't even really like you or connect with you. But I am 99.9% sure nobody hates you. Because you haven't done anything for anyone to hate you.
Probably not anymore. But
even in this time period,
all the people I murdered and
they're all dead.
Yeah.
They can't hate.
But their families can.
Then kill them.
Well, exactly. This got really dark really fast. Anyway, before the
enemies of my son, of my enemies of my enemies.
What?
I don't know. It sounded like a TV thing. A little bit of a
You're talking about the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
No, I was talking about the end of the last scene from The Godfather, where it was the enemies of my father are all gone.
Oh, well, you messed that up.
Yeah, I totally did. Yeah, there are. Do you know how much energy it takes to hate somebody? There are very, very few people. And if you hate, here's a great phrase I heard. There are people that do. Now I've been around. Maybe there are people that hate. There could be, because I've been around a lot longer than you. There could be these people out there, but it's all on them. I heard this phrase and I can't remember where it came from, but it's genius. Hating someone is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. And I thought that it's genius, because if I hate somebody, that's all on me. This person's probably never going to know that I hate them. I mean, it's such a wasted.
I think the word maybe lost its meaning more than. I think hating now just means, oh, you hate me, whatever, as like not saying like hate as in just
Right.
can't stand, want this person to fall off a cliff and.
Yeah, because on that second definition, I guarantee you there's nobody out there that feels it. But nobody, there's nobody out there that hates you. You don't hate anybody, do you?
I dislike people, but I mean, I try not to hate. I mean, there's people that I would rather not be close to, and if they were, I'd probably kick them. But
Right, kicking.
But I mean, I don't think I hate anyone. I would sure hope not.
Yeah, you're a pretty gentle guy. I couldn't see you hating. That would just mess you up.
Yeah, I mean, without getting too much into detail, that there's plenty of people that I don't really like, but
Because of that.
But I guess in the second definition,
Are any of those people in this room?
All of them. All of them are in the room. Every single one of them. I'm a schizophrenic. There's Bob and Bill and Jack over here.
What's that? Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I.
So mine, yeah.
Yeah, I can't see you. I've seen you get angry, and I've seen you get upset, and I've seen you get defensive over people that you think are hurting people that you care about. But I can't see you hating. I don't see it.
There's people that I would rather them be as far away as possible. But
yeah, but here's the interesting part. Do you know why your car insurance goes down at 25 years old? Do you know why they chose 25 years old?
Why?
25 years old is when your brain is finally developed. You're 23. You're not even done cooking yet. You're physically, your body is not even done cooking yet. And you've determined who you are. At 23, I didn't know who I was. I was trying everything. At 20, I guarantee you that the Alex at 23 is going to be pretty close to the Alex at 33. The Alex at 33 is going to have a lot more things and a lot more accomplishments, and there's going to be but the core person of Alex at 23 is going to be Alex at 33 and Alex at 43. That's a huge accomplishment. That's huge. You know who you are. You may not like who you are, because sometimes you don't and you beat yourself up, but you know who you are.
I wonder where I get that from.
But you know who you are. And you've definitely, I'm proud of you for that. I'm proud of you for a lot of things, but I'm definitely proud of you for that. You, at 23, I was a train wreck. I wanted people to like me. If I didn't like a job, I would walk away. If I didn't like a relationship, I would walk away. I would just, I was a total train wreck. I didn't know who I was at 23. But you're so far ahead of the game because you know who you are and you haven't even reached the warranty yet. Your brain isn't even done cooking. So you're doing good. You're doing good. And I want you to know that. I want you to know how good you are. You'll never be a disappointment. We're very, very, very proud of who you become.
I don't think I would ever think you guys do. It's just a thing of I thought that.
Right.
This is what I thought. Of course, that I don't think you or mom would ever think that, but there's just, I'm sure other people can relate that's, you think you disappointed it, even though you probably think it's not.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
You probably did the same way with your parents.
I was just thinking that. My mom died 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
2018?
2018? Yeah, he's amazing with dates. Amazing with dates. I still feel like I disappointed her. I still feel... I feel that I disappointed both of them a lot.
I feel like when somebody passes away, you feel like you think about things more, and you think about things that you should have done. Like with my grandfather, I feel like I never had it. I was still a kid with him.
Yeah.
And I felt like he treated me as a kid because it wasn't his fault, because I was always a kid. Because I never saw him, so I was always shy. And he treated me like a kid because I was a kid around him. And I feel like once I became who I am, I finally had a chance to have an adult conversation with him, and then he just kind of got mentally not there anymore, and then the year later he died. So I think going back on regrets, that's another thing.
But that's nothing you could have changed.
But I made up for it because Diane, his wife, my grandmother, I think I made it up with having good conversations with her, and she's also good people.
Yeah,
so.
she's great people. Yeah, I can't keep saying this enough that part of me is not envious, but like I said, I feel sometimes I look at you and I look at your brother and I go, how did that happen? Why aren't they with me as a father? Why aren't they, wearing a dress on a water tower someplace? Why aren't they in prison? Why aren't they? I just can't.
So you yell at me for bashing myself, but you bash yourself a lot.
But it's not bashing. It's just that
You don't think you're a good enough father.
No, I never. No. I don't think I'm a good enough father because I don't know. I think if you think you are, then you definitely aren't. I think there are fathers out there that are going, yeah, I did a great job. Now I think you're a total jerk because you can't think that and be that you can't. So no, I don't. I don't think I did enough. I don't think I can do enough. But I don't know that that's a bad thing.
There's no complaints on. I mean, Nick said the same thing. I had a great childhood. I was kind of a rebel. I'm not bragging about it, but I did get into trouble and probably was grounded more than he was. But
yeah, you were grounded on a regular basis.
Yeah. Probably got my mattress taken away a couple times, but that's just.
I think I spanked Nick once, and he laughed at me, and I never did it again.
Yeah.
You were punished. You were grounded a lot.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, especially in the summer, I got my mom's bike stolen and a whole bunch of stuff. But I can't hold that as not having a good childhood. I mean, we went all kinds of places. It was I still consider it a childhood. I consider him a father and a friend. So.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way with you.
He's like my buddy. He's more than I don't know. It almost sometimes doesn't feel like he's my dad.
How so?
I wish. No, I'm just no, just in some ways we interact.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I'm really, really grateful for. I love spending time with you. I loved spending time with my mom. I loved my mom, but I also liked my mom. And I liked spending time with her. And I used to love to take her to supermarkets because she would spend an hour, in like the soup aisle. And that was like happiness. Well, should I get this one? I don't know. That has beans. Do you want the one with bacon? They have one with bacon? And you'd find,
that's gonna be you.
Yeah, that will be me. But that was pure pleasure for her. That was just pure pleasure for her. I love spending time with you. You were like one of my favorite people in the world.
I think there's things that with you and mom that I love going places with. I think you two are different. You like certain things and she likes certain things, so it's fun to go on vacation and do stuff like that. I think you're never too old to go on vacation with your parents, honestly.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
That's a great line. We're gonna put that right underneath that. Yeah.
I like, some people are like, oh, I have to. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Going places, going to DC and hanging out, and going places and going to different museums that I've never been to, and screwing around with him and doing crazy stuff and going places and getting lost, stuff like that. It's fun.
We, Alex and I were out for a drive 4 weeks ago, and we were just driving around. We just get in the car and we just act like idiots and we just drive around. And we're driving down this country road, and all of a sudden this car like comes, screaming behind me. So much so that I quickly got off the road. I was doing probably 50 or 60. This guy was doing 100. So I got off and he went, whoa. And I said, holy cow, did you see that? Come back on, we go down about a mile and always hear smoke. The guy missed the turn, hit a tree, was airborne, and then hit a field. And Alex and I were one of the first ones there. And we stayed with the guy, made sure that he didn't get out of the car, and then the EMTs got there and that sort of thing. That's just one of the things that happens when we go for rides. It's just talking, and we don't have any destination. It's just amazing.
I was pretty sure he died.
Yeah, I was convinced. And then actually when we got to the car, for some reason I thought somebody else was in the car. When we got to the car, I was convinced he was dead.
Yeah, I looked at him slumped over and I'm like, is he dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty scared.
Yeah, that
was something.
Then one time we were driving around and driving at night, and all of a sudden the road ended. It just ended. And we're in this parking lot next to water. We don't even know how we got there.
We just randomly go places.
We just randomly go
end up
places
somewhere.
But it's just stuff like that. We just talk and hang out and I'm not going for Father of the Year. I think it's I love you, but I also really like you, and I'm very proud of who you are. I know you carry a lot of, you think you need to be at a different place, right? You think you need to be here, and I get that. I completely get that. And you will. I know you will. But a couple of things. First of all, you're yards ahead of me at 23. At 23, there was part of 23 where I'm just sleeping on people's couches, right? I mean, there are parts of 23 where I quit jobs. I didn't have a dime to my name. I mean, it's you are farther ahead at 23 than I was at 23. But just for the physical manifestations of life, who you are, you're a decade ahead. You know who you are, and I'm so proud of you for knowing who you are. There are people my age that don't know who they are. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I figured it out recently, like within the last 5-10 years of who I was. But you got that. You've got that already crossed out.
Yeah, I think for the most part. I think there's other things that I would search for, but yeah.
You're gonna get better. You're gonna get more confident. You're gonna build other relationships. I think the other thing that you've got is the fact that you're an incredibly loyal person. I think you're trustworthy. I think your friends know that they can trust you. Your family knows that they can trust you. Yeah. You're doing good, kid. I'm really, really proud of you.
I'm pretty boring, but
You're not. No. Are you crazy? You got some great lines in there. We're gonna do some fun stuff with this. First of all, I was shocked that you agreed to do this. You are such a private person. You never let me take pictures of you. I'm shocked that you allowed me to do this.
Who wants to see this?
Are you kidding? You look like a lumberjack centerfold. Wait a minute, that sounded weird.
Yeah, it kind of did.
It did sound kind of weird.
I try to be private, but
no, you're very good at this.
Have my insight as boring as it is.
It's not. And there are people that are in their 30s and their 40s that haven't figured out what you figured out. We know people, how do I say this? There's so many people that are just waiting for the world to deliver what they think they deserve. They're just waiting for it. And when you're 23, there's probably 80% of all 23-year-olds are waiting for that big break. They're waiting for that phone call. They're waiting for Hollywood to call. They're waiting for, someone to discover how funny they are. They're waiting for that. The bad thing is, I know a lot of people that are in their 40s and 50s and 60s that are still waiting for it. It's okay I work at Rite Aid because I'm gonna, one of these days my agent is gonna call. It's okay that I'm divorced and live in a trailer and don't have a relationship with my kid because when they finally read my novel, everything's gonna change.
Is that what you thought?
And that's what I thought. I did.
Yeah.
I thought the first books that came out in the 90s, I thought they were gonna change everything. I thought they're gonna change everything. And they didn't. They're just books. But I thought they were gonna change everything. Now, your mom and you and Nick, you changed everything. You definitely changed everything. I can't imagine, I could push a button and have all those books and plays and everything I've done gone, but I would never push a button and have you guys gone.
Well, that's the other point, to go back to the regret thing. I wish I didn't have a giant head, but I have him to thank for it. And I wish I didn't have a giant nose, but I have my mother to thank for that. So here I am, a combination of a whatever, giant head, big nose.
So you were able to bash both your parents in one sentence.
I couldn't end it without that.
I love you very much. I'm very proud of you, and I'm proud of you. I'm so glad you agreed to do this. You're so good at this.
Well, I try.
Yeah.
Even if it's not very interesting.
It's very interesting.
2.5 people that watch it.
Right. 2.5? Who's a half?
A baby, maybe? I don't know.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna. You know what's so funny? We're gonna post it, and it's gonna say 2.5 views.
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah. The 5 will be like a half a person,
Yeah.
just like split in half.
Now that got dark real quick.
More than the other part? What about murdering people and?
No, that was comedic.
Okay, but not splitting people.
No, splitting in half.
That's
You've gone too far.
There's the line.
Splitting
Okay.
people in half,
All
right?
right. All
Yeah,
right.
murdering people is okay, but
I
splitting
didn't
them
say
in
I
half.
was gonna split him in half. He's just naturally split in half.
Oh,
Yeah, he's 2 different people.
yeah, and then it comes back together.
Well, okay. So yeah, we could do that. That works.
All right, thanks, Alex.